guys, welcome to the Lost Generation podcast, season 2.
Yes.
Officially, finally, season 2,
Episode 1.
episode 1.
Yeah,
So,
that is like last week was like 0. Episode 0 pilot.
yeah. So, as usual, we're gonna start out a new season with a bang.
Right.
Banger.
Shit.
You don't get my joke.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Yeah, I know what she's talking about, like this one, right?
Oh, okay.
But I mean, like a
We un-
banger video.
We underestimated you, bro. I think I'm sorry. Anyway.
And our first topic is generation gap.
Yeah.
So we're going to tackle what is generation gap, why do we have the gap, the characteristics of each generation, and maybe raise the question at the end whether or not we need to erase these gaps. So let's start off with our Mr. Wikipedia,
Mr.
shall we?
Okay, so generation gap is refers to the chasm that separates the thought expressed by members of two different generations. So specifically, generation gap can be used to describe the differences in actions, belief, values, or even tastes exhibited by members of younger generations compared to the older one.
Yeah. So basically the clash between the old generation and the young generation
Yeah.
in various
That's a simple way
in
to say it.
various topics.
Yeah.
Dude, chasm. Chasm is a big ass word, bro. Although there are 5 major generations at the moment, we're just gonna focus on 4, which is the baby boomers, the Generation X, the millennials, and also Generation Z. And then we group each of the two into pairs, like, Generation X with baby boomers and millennials to Gen Z, just because of like their close connection and the smaller gaps within each other and the similarity as well. So Ving, yeah.
So for the first one, we would say talk about baby boomers.
Yeah.
So they witnessed an increasing social and economic equality and came of age as the country was split by different views of politics, war, and social justice. The next one would be Generations X. So they were born between the 1965 and the 1980s.
Yeah.
They grew up in an emerging technologies and political institutional incompetence. So basically at the technology time.
Yeah.
For the millennials, they were born between the 1980s and the 1994. Millennials have always known cable TV, fax machines,
Yeah.
phone book,
Yeah.
and laptop computers, and also maybe video games. Like at the time where we have Game Boys and
Yeah.
PS2. something
Yeah,
like
and
that.
Gen Z is just like an upgrade version of like millennials, where technology also plays a big part. Like the social media, personas, like the I don't know, like the other kind of technological advancements that is currently happening right now. But anyway, like what Ving said is technically very correct in terms of like the definition of a very American-centric kind of generations, But like, for example, like baby boomers, like we didn't really see much like social changes, in our country, Vietnam, because like we're going to talk about, generation gap in Vietnam.
Exactly.
But we did, I think like our parents' generation, which is kind of in the baby boomers as well, like they witnessed war, so it's kind of correct, I guess.
I mean, they have different point of view about life.
Yeah, but like
I think when you talk about generation gap, you have to consider which country you're in
exactly.
as well, because
Yeah.
this is, as you said, a very
Yeah.
American based.
This is very Investopedia kind of thing,
Yeah.
which I don't think that Ving took it from.
No. It's from
Yeah,
scholar,
I feel like
sources.
it should be like
Journal,
that, right?
yeah, it's from a
it's from
journal.
Harvard, like UCS. shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think if you want to look closer into it in terms of generation gap in different countries, you can look it up. I think there are some good
Yeah.
essays, articles on Harvard Business Review,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah. So baby boomers for sure, like in Vietnam, like war affected a lot of the baby boomers. I'm just recap like what he just said and you said as well. Generation X, emerging technology, I think it's actually makes sense. Although like the economy at the time is not as robust as like America, so this definition is kind of not really wrong, but it's not correct as well. millennials kind of true, like technology became like a part of like, like the millennials, CD players, like kind of thing that, our parents haven't really seen before, like they have like records players and shit like that. And then Gen Z, my God, you know, Gen
us.
it's like another species now. So we kind of get the gist of like, the different generation gaps that we want to focus on. But now I think we're just gonna be more personalized and discuss about our, our experiences, with generation gap, especially between us and our parents. Who's want to go? Who's gonna go
Why don't you
first?
go first?
Hey, why don't you go
Fuck,
first?
like head class? No. Anyway, I think mine is actually quite simple. It's just like, the different values that I put in life, comparing to my parents. Like, when my parent was young, like me, I think they were just really focused on like the economy, like they want to get prosper because at the time, Vietnam is really poor. And they also put a lot of their trust and like values on like family as well, because like that is all they have. And it's the main focus and the drive for them to like push forwards, But like to me, or I think our generation in general, is that because we were born during peacetime and we enjoyed economy, like we enjoy like a very robust economy. So that's why like, I felt like I have the chance to kind of, I have the freedom to just like think about myself more so than my parents used to
Have a
be.
different perspective.
Yeah, perspective, and also just like values. I put my values into like things that my parents just like,
I
fuck,
get it, I get it,
you
yeah.
selfish motherfucker, can you fucking not sleep? Like I don't know.
values on sleep.
Yeah, mine's like really simple like that. Yeah, sometimes it's just like small ones, but sometimes it's like a really big ideals that like we kind of clash. And I think like you guys can relate, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I think my parents have a lot of prejudice,
Right.
especially my dad, because he's like the first gen of Gen X.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. So it's just prejudices in terms of sex, the housework, or even in workplace in
Right.
general. Like the woman should not exactly
yeah.
stay home, but like the woman should take care of all of the housework.
Yeah.
And let the man do all the make
Yeah.
money and economy
Yeah.
advance.
Income.
Yeah. Basically
that
like they
is.
had roles to kind of fill in, which is also, yeah.
Yeah. And I think my dad kind of relate to your parents in terms of wanting to have prosperity. That's what
Yeah.
all.
No, that was like the 1980s in a nutshell,
Yeah, yeah,
Bao
yeah.
Cup and things like that.
That was
yeah.
all he focused on. Like he traveled a lot and started business
Yeah.
everywhere pretty much just to gain money,
Right.
and then finally settled in Hanoi.
Yeah, same. Yeah, my parents like I think like my mom came from the mountains of Sơn La. She was born in the mountains because like it was like during the Vietnam War, and then she moved to Hanoi and then studied and then yeah, it was like a very different life to be honest.
It
Like
is,
when you kind of try to imagine it, because like now you just like you have all the big cities and shit like that, But anyway, yeah,
But
okay.
it's kind of like you solo traveling, It's kind of like that. But back then you kind of have a goal to make money, but now
Well,
we just
I mean,
travel
like,
for ourselves.
yeah, I think like you traveling by yourself at that time by force. It was not like you want to do it, but rather like you had to do it in order for you to like not getting killed, which is fucked up, and like not
Not
getting.
in wartime, but like
yeah.
when our parents are in their teenage or like young adult years, they wanted to be successful, have their own business.
And they had to move to the city side, in order for them to have like a steady job because like the countryside,
Exactly.
it's fucked up. But yeah, I get it.
What
That's
about
cool.
you, Ving?
I think one thing that is so different from the older generations is that our generations, the youth one, is missing the actual life experience
Right.
because of the emerging technologies. As we have said before, we are so sucked into our computer, phone, and we just need to get away from our screen more and enjoy our life. I think the way technology has changes us is it has changes us in so many different levels. Our beliefs, our act, the way we have a different perspective on things, and also the way we portray ourselves in front of everyone. I still remember that at my time as we before. I get to go to the playground and stuff and then play out on the field. But now the younger generations don't really have that.
Yeah.
You know, they're stuck into YouTube and video games.
And you
stuff
made
like
YouTube.
that. How
Nah,
ironic,
just
but
kidding. Yeah.
just like on the real life experience that we're
Yeah.
missing out right now.
Okay. So you kind of pro like generation gap in a way, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
That's cool because I mean, it's kind of true. You know, like when you want, before, like when you wanted to meet someone, you went and meet that person
Exactly.
instead of messaging them. Like it kind of, I don't know, like makes the connection more real.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
it is more sentimental, I think.
That's interesting.
For
Yeah,
me.
we're lacking physical connection.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that would play.
And
I think that's why they said that we're connected more than ever, but also very disconnected. at
Yeah,
the same time.
exactly. Yeah.
And I
Okay.
think in the future it will also change when
Okay.
we won't be able to meet each other
Yeah.
somehow.
Especially with the pandemic.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so as you can see, Lily is not here. She is like in the countryside now, right? And she couldn't, come
make
in
it.
time. So, but she did actually put a lot of like interesting thoughts on here. So I'm just gonna read it out in Thuong's voice.
Please don't.
Oh no, I'm just kidding. Anyway, for Liti, I think like the most prevalent characteristic of generation gap that she kind of suffered from is that the expectation that she has towards her parents and also vice versa, from her parents to her as well. That's it.
You just said that she has a lot of input. Okay, maybe she will elaborate her points.
I think like
Better.
when she talks about expectation, it's just like like the things that like our parents want us to become, and it kind of sets up like unrealistic expectation to us that in a way, because like they used to live in like a very like tough situation before. They want the children to be happy, right? So in a way, it turned into this toxic expectation that you're gonna have to fucking excel, or else you are fucked, for the rest of your life. And when she said both ways, I guess like also, like the way that she wanted her parents to be. I don't know, maybe, yeah.
I think I relate to that a lot.
Yeah.
In terms of like, I expect my parents to be more understanding.
Yeah.
I think all of us do. We expect them to understand why
Yeah.
we want this, why we're doing what we're doing. But then at the same time, we hold different values. That's why there's a lot of misunderstanding.
I mean, one of the main obstacle of like, of like the generation between our parents and us is miscommunication and like not understanding each other, Like I have heard about tons and tons of families where it's just like a very small thing to us, but like for them, they're gonna fight out for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Instead of just compromise, which is like, I don't know, like different families, of course, but I think like right now we're just gonna talk about why this generation gap kind of happened. I think we had said it in our kind of explanation about how we feel about generation gap, but I think the first one.
Definitely.
Yeah, the first one would be like technological advancement. Now that one is like pretty fucking obvious because like, I'm being
It's like straight into your face.
Why are you watching this?
yeah, I'm too aggressive. First of all, like technological advancement. I think like during the 60s, Americans saw like some guy flying to the moon. And you still think like it's fake, but like it's like a monumental thing happened to human. Like it changed people forever. And then phones, goddamn iPhone. You can
iPhones,
literally do anything with that.
The internet.
Yeah. So, in a way, technology always plays a big part in our society, and it will change, depending on the era that, like some invention happened, like fucking teleportation happened by the year
Yeah,
2020.
I hope by
I don't
then you
know.
I
will be
mean,
late.
Oh shit.
I mean,
Okay, so
Elon
I
Musk
was
is working on it.
I went late today, so I would like to apologize to our viewers and also to my friends. Like teleportation devices and shit like that.
There will be soon on 2022, I think. Elon Musk is working on it.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, like we have a rover on Mars now, like a new one.
Oh, yeah, a new
So
one.
like it opens up a new era
A new
of
chapter
of like
humankind.
humankind, bro.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna behave differently from us now. They're definitely not going to use iPhone 5. By by
someone.
2021, bro. Like they're gonna use some like eye vision,
It will be
like
your lenses on your
yeah,
eyes.
Siri like planted on your fucking head. Like it's so ingrained into our society that it becomes a part that changes generation. And the second one is economy and also the improved way of life in general. Like for Vietnam, I think like after the 1980s, like we got the era called đổi mới, which is like an era where the economy kind of rise up and then people just start to have money, more money than than the era of Bao Cấp. And it opens up like a lot of social mobility. For example, you can travel, you can learn a lot of new things. You can have a lot of other progressive ideals borrowed from other countries, like the LGBT rights. Yeah, I'm sorry. No LGBT rights. Sometimes I just like forget words. So economy plays a big part, in just like pushing, the generation, further, I think. Third one would be like external events. I think external event kind of goes into like religions and like the culture of each and different countries as well. But like for Vietnam, for example, like we have a lot of events that kind of shape the way that like that particular generation look and think about a certain stuff. That maybe makes them becoming more conservative or progressive. I don't know, but it kind of varies between different countries. But it's also a factor on why like generation gaps kind of exist. And yeah, that's it, I think. That's like the three main ones, I think, for us. If you have anything else, you can totally fucking comment, bro. Okay, coming back a little bit, I think like we are technically Gen Z, right? I feel like a millennial, but like I
Technically,
think
yeah.
I am a Gen Z.
Yeah, and scientifically proven Gen Z, but like
Yeah.
I think we'll
Science. The fuck? It's like
Scientifically.
it's our DNA, right?
but I think we would feel very different if we talk to the first generation of millennials.
Hell
I
yeah,
believe. So,
exactly.
Exactly.
I always felt like I related
just-
to like the millennials more, in the way that they approach things and like in the way that they talk. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, maybe in the latter.
Yeah, we're like the first generation of Gen Z
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
way, right?
mean,
We're
that's why
still
we're
in the
working
transition
together.
phase.
Especially when you go to like a coffee shop and you meet like the real, Gen Z. Like they talk about shit that you just don't understand.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
that's already like a generation gap in
I'm
a
not even
generation.
sure if they're still using Vietnamese or English.
They
It's
speak
just
like
Yeah.
different languages.
yeah, they're
an
like
alien-
her mu. I'm like her mu. It's hit me up, man. They're like
Oh.
no, her mu means crying, like hoo.
What?
Oh,
I know, and they're like 4 or 5 years younger than us.
it just
boy.
shows that
No,
we're
but you
too
get
old.
what I mean. It's like a gap exists inside of a
Within the-
generation.
Yeah.
Like that's so fucking interesting, And you talk about you fighting your dad. You're not relating to your sister at all. Like
Yeah,
that's to me, it's like just so mind blowing. But like I sometimes I don't get what they were saying or what is the topic of their conversation or the way that they behave because like it's just so different.
They have like a different interest
Well, yeah.
compared to
Yeah,
us.
different point of view, everything pretty much. And I think the generations, the time frame of the generations, I think it's getting shorter.
a little bit shorter, you know, and I think it also plays around with like because of technology.
Yeah.
Like we have never seen an era where technology is progressing as much as it can, because like during the 60s and the 70s it just like took kind of like year by year
Yeah.
for something to kind of happen. Now like every fucking day, you see like a fucking Mars rover, things like that. So that's why I
was
think
crazy.
I think you actually correct. It's that like the generation gap is just continue to
Get bigger.
get bigger and shorter, I think. So I think this would be like the last kind of, I don't know, like the last question to today's episode. Do you think we can ever resolve the gap between generation?
Yeah, I believe that generation gap is fine. It's there
Yeah.
for a reason. We don't need to erase the gap or do anything with it because it's always going to be there. And the most important thing is to communicate and compromise with each other.
Yeah.
And yeah, I believe that's just called being a decent human being. It's not erasing the gap or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, between us, we already have conflicts, and we're like, what, 2 years apart?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just takes communication and compromising. For example, my dad used to be a very traditional person, and my cousin used to say that they're afraid that my dad's face gonna crack when he smiled
Oh,
because
It's like a he's like a
he's always so stern, so like nghiêm.
yeah, he's like a terracotta.
What's a terracotta?
Terracotta is like ông không biết cái, the army of like Tân Thủy Hoàng ấy. I just thought about it. I'm so sorry.
That is so random, bro.
yeah, no, my mind's like fucked up.
Pulling out of nowhere.
Yeah, go on. What do you think? No.
Yeah, but yeah, he's adapting a lot of progressive thoughts. Now, like he no longer thinks that women needs to do all the housework,
Jesus.
and yeah, that proves that. Oh, that shows a lot during the past.
Right.
Yeah, he does a lot of cooking and cleaning, and I'm
Yeah,
very happy about it.
yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
You though.
I think I kind of agree with her because communication is the key point of everything. And I think that as the generations evolve, the older one should like accept the changes. They should adapt into the new technology world as it will progress rapidly throughout all the years. So I think the communications between the older one and the younger one should be clear, and people should like be understandable to each other.
Understanding.
Understanding. Yeah.
Understandable. Anyway, no, it's cool. I totally agree with what you said. I think like generation gap never it's not going to go. Like just what we said before. Just within like a generation, we already have like a small gap of like not understanding each other. It's not going to like go away.
It's not gonna disappear.
It's literally not understanding what each other is saying.
Yeah, it's like a different species. Like they're from Mars now. I think like they infiltrate our Earth.
Trầm cảm quá.
Oh yeah, I think I mean whatever. I heard that in like a coffee shop and I was like, fuck, this is crazy. To me, I think it's not easy to just say like, you know what? I think it's fine. Generation gap is like something that you want or you can change. And I know that I'm very fortunate to have a family that at least like the generation gap doesn't play a very negative part in my life, because like I have heard a lot of stories, like that, like family traditions and the way that they expect their children to be like that and like this.
And it still exists.
So we're not downplaying the fact that generation gap is like a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
It's just that it's not going away anytime soon, I think. So the one thing that I would like to just give you or a piece of advice, I guess, to me from me, like I have fucking like experience, is that just embrace who you are, I think. Because right now like we have the opportunity to do that, and we have the resources to do that as well. You know, we are living in a time where progressive ideals are just, rampant. So you need to kind of embrace that and believe in yourself. At the end of the day, you live your life, not others, So be true to yourself and, take it in the chin, bro. Take it in the chin kind of means like,
You have to explain.
I don't know, because some people, I think they don't kind of get that idiom, but like it's very MMA. But like take it in the chin, Like I think sometimes fighting with your parents kind of, I don't know, but like would resolve some misunderstandings.
Not
that,
physical fight, though.
Wow, yeah, not like
Not like punches.
if they abuse you, like I think just go. They not deserve you, bro. Yeah, just go out. But like if you kind of fight verbally, not like argue. Sorry, fight verbally sounds like fucked up. If you guys ever argue, I think it can be a good opportunity for the two generations to just understand each other.
To merge.
My family fought a lot. I think I fought with my mom for a lot of times. And at the end of the day, it's like it's family. And I'm not crying.
Oh, sorry. I was getting emotional there. I'm sorry.
Like my mom is like doesn't understand who I am.
Tears going out. Oh.
Yeah, I'm like 15 now.
Yeah, I think at one point I kind of accept the fact that my parents are never gonna change.
Well, yeah, you're gonna do it.
Yeah, but then they change all of a sudden, and I'm like, okay, so
Yeah.
they can change after all.
Exactly.
And one tip for you, when you argue with your parents is that you should try to see things from their point of view, and then you use their own reason to reason with them. Don't use your reason to reason with them. See how they see things and use that to persuade them.
Reverse psychology right there.
Well, yeah.
Cool.
And argue with them with a level-headed manner. Don't yell at them back because like, it's just gonna escalate the yelling. No, exactly, because like you're not going to hear the other person if they are aggressively yelling at you. Be chill, but like tough about it in a way if you can. Like of course, some families are fucked up. I know, but if you can, you should. It will kind of just try to be like filling the gap a little bit. And again, what you say is actually very interesting. Is that the more they get older, the more they just like relax about things. Like my mom used to be like the mom who waits for me if I didn't go back to my home at 9. But like now she just like don't care. She calls me like for like once. Hey, where are you? Oh, I'm meeting my friends. Hey, come back home soon. And then that's fucking it. Like don't give a shit about me anymore, which I'm kind of sad but like kind of happy at the same time.
Right?
Yeah, the more they get older, the more they're gonna accept, I guess. I don't know. Some families fucked up again, but that's true to us. So I hope that you can.
Yeah, I feel like if you still believe that they can change, if there's still light at the end of the tunnel, then go for it. But if you feel like they're a lost cause, then
ditch their ass.
No, bro. Like.
No, I'm just again. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry. Not ditching, but like
go.
No, because like, I have heard about again coming back a little bit, like a lot of abusive families. Yeah. Not just like physically, but like mentally, kind of manipulates, children to be like this and to be like that.
And they won't listen.
They won't listen at all. Some people they never change. So it's not like we can give you a lot of advices, but be tough.
Hope this episode will be helpful.
Not really.
Not really.
No, just kidding. No, it's good.
Yeah, and I think if you guys want to talk, you can slide into
Exactly.
our DMs.
Yeah, tell us like all the reasons on why generation gap exists. I think like you can pull out some researches that we maybe didn't do.
Because someone just want to read straight from Wikipedia.
Oh yeah,
It's not from Wikipedia.
it's like
guys.
you just
Okay, I'm sorry. What source?
Investopedia, but
Investopedia. It's like
same thing.
it's another wiki. It's like a part of the wiki realm.
I mean,
It's like the
It
wiki.
also has PDF.
it does the work though. It does the work.
It's like wiki universe, bro. It's like a part of that shit. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Anyway, I think we should cut that shit out. Like, now they knew our sources, like, which is fucked up. Yeah. And also like tell us about your situation if you can. You know, what makes you think that, you know, like the generation gap is affecting your life right now? I think it's cool, and if you want to, for us to answer.
Yeah, slide into Mark's DM.
No, not that,
Our
you
DM.
dumbass. What the fuck? This is not like Tinder.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not trying to like
Get girls from
like
there.
get girls on this shit, bro. God damn. Anyway, goodbye. Bye bye.